Okay, so here are my two David Kilpatrick books. This one is Equipped for Reading Success, and this one is The Essentials of Assessing, Preventing, and Overcoming Reading Difficulties. They kind of go together, to be honest. So this one has all the research and the meat behind the phonemic awareness program that he's created. The Coles Notes version of the program is here in the Equipped for Reading Success, but what Equipped for Reading Success has is all of the actual exercises and work you would do with your student. So if you're just going to get one, I would say get this one. You'll still get the Coles Notes, and you'll get all of the program. And then if you really love it, which I did, then you can go get this Backgrounder, which is got all the science and the meat behind it. So this is the program that I use with my daughter. I've been using it now for probably about 2 years to move her from a fairly low level of phonemic awareness all the way through to an advanced level. And I've really found that that has helped her with her fluency and with her spelling without me actually having to do anything specific. I am Orton Gillingham trained and have done Orton Gillingham programs with her, and I found them to work for her reading, but not for her spelling. So this was kind of an eye-opener for me. So this is the layout of it. So you've got kind of a section on what needs to be done, a section on how to do it, and then all of the activities you would do with the child are in the appendices. If you go to the back of the book, let me see if I can get to it here. I tried to mark some pages. So one of the first things you would really do with your child would be to run a screener to see where they're at. So the screener has different levels of phonemic awareness. So level D is kind of where it begins with your basic syllable levels. So in this example for this one, level D, if you gave the child the word bookcase and then asked them to remove book, they should be able to come up with case as being what would remain. So you want to see if they can delete syllables successfully. Here we've got something like umbrella. If you took away you'd be left with brella. After that, it moves to the onset rhyme levels. So you'd want to be able to remove that first sound and be left with the remainder of the word. Remove the onset, be left with the rhyme. So feet without f would be eat, for example. And then as you get into the basic phoneme levels, and then it progresses to the advanced phoneme levels. And as you can see, there's lots of levels here. And a lot of, I would say, traditional Orton Gillingham programs really don't focus much past what I would say is the basic phoneme levels. Like you'll see a little bit of work on things like at this level, crane, remove the k, you'd be left with rain. But you won't get a lot into these advanced levels where you're removing and replacing different phonemes within the word. And that seems to be key. The research that he's covered indicates that they really need to have developmentally achieved these stages in order to be able to do what's called orthographic mapping. Once you know what level your child's at, you then go to the exercises. So the appendix is just filled with exercises, and essentially you choose your level. So for example, if that screener said that your child should start at level I1, then you would come over to section I1 and you would run through the exercise with your child. So the idea is that this would be one day. So one day you would do this exercise. So here we've got, you give the child the word and, you get them to repeat it. So say and, now say and, but don't say duh. And then the child should be able to give you back and. The next one is bend. Now say bend, but don't say d, right? And then you got bend. Now say art. Okay, now say art, but don't say t, r. You have to go through, and then the check marks that I've got here, these are ones that I've done with my daughter. So you're supposed to give a check mark if the child does it correctly, and a second check mark if they're able to do it within 2 seconds. If they're not able to consistently get the words A correct or within 2 seconds, then they are not automatic. So you're not considered to have reached automaticity. So you want to continue doing exercises until you are getting to that stage where your child is getting them consistently and getting them automatically, and then you can move on to the next level. every now and then too, he'll include things like these mixed levels where you'll essentially go back and review, and you'll have the opportunity to see if any gaps have formed in a previous level that they passed. And it happens. I've seen a lot of back and forth happening with my daughter. It's not been consistent, but there's an overall positive trajectory. Certainly going back to some of the basic ones now, we really never have a problem with it, but it's not a linear progression, I find. So I hope that was helpful. It gives you maybe a general idea. If you have any specific questions, let me know.